Great player. That's LeBron James, shall we? On Sunday, with the win over the Knicks, LeBron also passed Allen Iverson on the all-time scoring list. And this was LeBron's quote. It's very, very humbling. And it's an honor just to be named with some of the greats that I watched growing up. And now, to know that I passed Allen Iverson on the all-time scoring list for someone that's not much of a scorer, as you guys have deemed me, it is pretty cool. It is pretty cool, Skip Bayless. Your take on his comment.
Wow. Not much of a scorer, as you guys have deemed me. Fascinating quote from LeBron James. Stephen A. Smith, I'm going to speak straight from my heart about a quote that I believe came straight from LeBron's heart. I loved this quote. I think it summed up LeBron James. Now, obviously, I don't even know if I have to say this, but I will, just to declare, in the past, I've been very critical of LeBron James and his clutch performances. But I have always lauded and applauded LeBron James' extraordinary basketball IQ. I have always said, when LeBron James decided to be, he's the best point guard, the best playmaker, the best quarterback in all of professional basketball. And I believe we saw it this year. Early on, this team struggled. LeBron sort of disengaged, unplugged for a while. When LeBron finally said, okay, that's enough, he started bringing the ball up the court. He started initiating the offense. He started getting Kyrie the shots that work best for Kyrie, instead of Kyrie just going solo one-on-two and jacking shots up. When he started running that show, it started to go. And LeBron James, obviously he can score effortlessly. He scores sometimes just by accident. That's why he did lead this league once in scoring. He won one scoring title. I think he's had 8 second-place finishes in the scoring race. But my point is this. What makes LeBron James the happiest, what satisfies him the most, are the assists. And I'm going to hit you to end this discussion up with one astonishing combination of stats. In LeBron's 12 years in this league, only Kobe has a higher scoring average than LeBron. But also in those 12 years, only Steve Nash and Chris Paul have more assists than LeBron James. Those are staggering numbers to me. That combination of the ability to score and the ability to assist is sensational to me. And I applaud LeBron for having that attitude, because that's who he is. What he just said, you guys try to portray me as this great scorer. I don't see myself that way. Thank you for saying that, LeBron. And thank you for entertaining us with an all-around basketball game, the likes of which I have never seen. As far as all-around ability, never seen anything quite like it.
Well, that's what I've been trying to tell you for years, which is why I tell you, when you hold him accountable for not closing, that's not his gift. His gift is knowing how to play the game of basketball. He was never a scorer. He's a basketball player. Yes, he's got career averages of 27, 7, and 7 on 49% shooting. I believe that's what it is. Yes, it's 49% shooting, 34% from three-point range. But, Skip, in the 12 years that he's been in the NBA, do you know he's only shot the ball more than 20 times per game in a season? 5 times. The other 7 years, he has not attempted an average of 20 shots a game. Scorers would never let that happen. Basketball players always let that happen, because it's about winning. It's about doing what you're supposed to be doing, whatever it takes, whether it's defending, it's rebounding, it's assisting, it's running the show, whatever it takes, he's willing to do. And he's never wanted himself perceived as a scorer, because he believes there's too many other facets to his game that are complementary to winning. Whereas scoring itself may not be that way, because there's been plenty of guys that have won scoring titles. There's been plenty of guys that can drop 50 on somebody in a heartbeat, but they never win anything. And so that's not somebody that he wanted to be. That's never what he wanted his name attached to, and it is what it is. But, we all know that he's the best player in the world at this particular point in time, and what he's proven on a basketball court. And him saying what he said, it's entirely accurate if you've watched him play. So I had no problem with it, but it was nothing for me to applaud per se, because to me, he said nothing that he hasn't always said. He's always been saying that. It's just that some folks didn't want to listen.
Okay, so now we compare, in this generation, Kobe and LeBron. As I pointed out, Kobe's the only one with a higher scoring average than LeBron. I believe Kobe's IQ is right there with LeBron's basketball IQ. But Kobe has a killer instinct that LeBron was not born with, was not gifted with. Kobe has the assassin in him where he's going to shoot it a high volume of times. He could be this guy. He could average 6, 7, 8 assists if he wanted to. In fact, we've seen him here the last couple of years say, okay, watch this. I will have 10 or more assists tonight. Kobe can do that when he feels like it. He just doesn't feel like it nearly as much as LeBron does. That's the difference in those two.
That's part of the difference, but you also have to understand why that is. Skip, people who can shoot the basketball, I'm talking about long-range snipers, usually have an identical mentality to that of Kobe. When you are a guy like LeBron, although you're a dominant physical specimen, you never want to be one-dimensional because you know that is going to leave you. And at some point in time in your career, you're not going to be able to be that dominant physically the way that you once were. What LeBron James is at 30, 31, he was, or 30 rather, he wasn't at 20. He wasn't at 25. He was an entirely different physical specimen to some degree. We may see somebody similar to that, but do you remember just a few months ago we were questioning whether or not LeBron had lost it because Father Time is undefeated and, you know, the paleo diet had soaked some of the energy out of him and he didn't seem as muscular, as formidable at some point. And then he took a 2-week break and he came back and he's an entirely new man. All I'm saying to you is that when you're built like LeBron James and you have the components that he has at his disposal, but you also are smart enough to see your own basketball mortality down the line, then you're going to adopt the mentality that he has always naturally had. Whereas if you are a Kobe Bryant, despite Father Time knocking on your door, you're literally saying, what does that have to do with this jumper that I'm about to drop on you from 25 feet? When you have that gift, you usually are more inclined to score because you believe you're a better marksman than anybody else. It's a different mentality because you have different components that you're bringing to the basketball floor. So Kobe's not the physical specimen LeBron is. He never was never going to be.
Okay. Gotcha.
Got it.
Yep.
Speaking of LeBron and the Cavs, let's talk about that win over the New York Knicks. Have you heard what Phil Jackson had to say about the loss? That's coming up a little later on in the show, as Stephen A. is nauseated by the thought. By all accounts, though, Jameis Winston did well at the Combine, but there was one scout who says, proceed with caution. Jameis Winston, after the break.